Good evening, it's 8 o'clock. The top headlines tonight. Ram Navami clashes in West Bengal's Howrah. Vehicles are torched. Stone pelting is currently going on. The Chief Minister, who's on a dharna, says rioters are enemies of the country. The BJP says it's her responsibility. She's the Home Minister. "14 COVID deaths in the last 24 hours. The R rate, the rate of infection, is now above 2. Cases up by 40% in the last day, but doctors say a majority of the cases are mild. The Delhi Chief Minister calls a COVID review meet tomorrow. The foreign hand, ministers versus Rahul Gandhi. As Germany's foreign ministry says, we are watching Rahul Gandhi's trial and expect standards of judicial independence. Congress leader Digvijay thanks Germany. The Congress distances itself. The ministers say this proves that the Congress wants foreign interference. Press pause on more advanced AI than ChatGPT-4. Elon Musk and others, over 1,000 tech leaders and experts, called for a pause in an open letter, saying it's an out-of-control race to develop more and more advanced AI. Ex-Chief Minister versus ex-Chief Minister. Yediyurappa's open dare to Siddaramaiah. He hints at fielding his son opposite Siddaramaiah. Will he contest now from 2 constituencies? The US nominee for the World Bank is likely to be elected unopposed. Indian origin Ajay Banga will now be the new World Bank head, as no other country files a nominee against him. And the Prime Minister's surprise visit to the new Parliament complex, which is being finishing touches being put on it. He meets engineers and labourers working at the site. Our lead story tonight is the clashes that have broken out this evening in Howrah in West Bengal, with vehicles being torched and a complete ruckus during the Ram Navami procession that was passing through this locality. Riot control police are currently there. Our correspondent Saurabh is also there, but the situation is extremely sensitive and tense. So Saurabh, at the moment, you can't even put the cameras on because of how tense the situation is. Describe to us what the situation is around you.
Well, there is obviously some tension on the ground, and this is, of course, in connection with a Ram Navami procession. There was arson, some cars set on fire, damaged. In fact, some cameras of TV crews also, coming under attack. And at this point, really, for the police, the challenge is to try and clear up the area, crowd control, and, get the situation to return to calm. In fact, we know, I've seen a short while ago, top police officials trying to control the situation at this point. I saw the Commissioner of Police also on the ground trying to, clear out the area. But the fact is that, there is 2 groups on 2 sides, and there has been stone pelting just a short while ago again. But the police at this point are really trying to calm things down, make sure that the situation doesn't get worse at this point, and that's the focus of the administration. Because situations like these can go out of hand very quickly, and the challenge
what happened here, really... Saurabh? What exactly happened here? What are the details you have? We just had reports from you that there was fresh stone pelting. Is the situation now calmer?
Yes, calmer than what it was 5 minutes ago. But at this point, really, one can't say that the situation has been contained or tackled. What really happened is what we have, it is claims versus counterclaims that that there was a Ram Navami procession, and one claim is that there was something, derogatory and something, to instigate violence was said. The other claim is that there was stone pelting from one side. So at this point, really, it's claims versus counterclaims on how this started. But yes, several vehicles damaged, stone pelting happened just a short while ago. Riot control police on the ground, top police officers, including the Commissioner of Police, on the ground right now, trying to simply contain the situation and get things to normalcy, so that, if I can describe the area, the entire street is, of course, full of stones, broken vehicles, damaged vehicles, overturned vehicles, burnt vehicles, windshields completely damaged.
Tell us a bit, Saurabh, for people not familiar with Calcutta, what really is the context of Howrah, where where these clashes have happened. The fact the BJP says that the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is also the Home Minister is on dharna on Ram Navami. This is a situation that she should have forecast when there was this whole back and forth over whether processions should happen. She had said she would let the processions go ahead, but said don't go to Muslim localities. What's the politics happening there? And tell us a bit about the locality where these clashes have happened.
Well, mixed population areas really, in parts minority-dominated areas, in parts again, mixed populations, majority populations living. But the area where the stone pelting took place is really an intersection. Now, this is Howrah, which is just across the Hooghly River on the western side of Kolkata. It is a sister city of Kolkata, and it's not the first time that there's been violence on Ram Navami in Howrah. Now, what did the Chief Minister say today? Well, the Chief Minister said that we've allowed permissions for Ram Navami. People say they want to carry arms. People say they want to, carry swords. I am saying, whatever you want to do, please make sure there's no violence. That's what the Chief Minister said. However, in spite of that, there was violence on the ground. And this is something that the administration, at least if one listens to the Chief Minister's speech, that the administration was anticipating that there was an attempt to create, unrest on Ram Navami. This is something that the police were prepared for.
So, to what Mamata Banerjee actually said, because the BJP is now attacking her for that. If there was a sense, then what exactly happened? So there'll be the back and forth. Let's just go to what Mamata Banerjee said.
আমি দাঙ্গাকারীদের প্রশ্রয় দিই না, আমি দাঙ্গাকারীদের দেশের শত্রু মনে করি।
Also tension last night after overnight clashes in Sambhaji in Aurangabad. This happened between, again, two different communities, groups of young men. But today, the Ram Navami procession has been taken out here peacefully. There was heavy police security. The Chief Minister, however, said the situation is calm. Things were brought back to control. So we can see there the Ram Navami procession being taken out under heavy police protection, but taken out peacefully. The Rapid Action Force deployed at Sambhaji Nagar in Aurangabad.
मी माहिती सगळी घेतलेली आहे. त्यामध्ये राम मंदिर तिकडे आहे. त्या राम मंदिरावरून थोडासा वादविवाद झाला, परंतु आता सध्या पूर्णपणे पोलिसांच्या कंट्रोलमध्ये तिथला संपूर्ण परिसर आहे आणि सर्वांनीच त्या ठिकाणी शांतता राखली पाहिजे. रामनवमीचा उत्सव आहे आणि आपल्या राज्यामध्ये सर्व धर्मीय सर्व सण एकत्र येऊन साजरे करतात. त्यामुळे सर्व धर्मीयांना माझं आवाहन आहे.
Moving to other news, well, there have been 14 COVID deaths in the last 24 hours, and the R rate, that's the rate of how fast infection spreads, is now above 2. Cases are also up by 40% in the last 24 hours, but doctors say the majority of cases are mild and will be cured after a few days of self-isolation. However, states across the country aren't taking any chances. The Delhi Chief Minister also calling a COVID review meet tomorrow.
The number of COVID deaths has hit double digits for the first time since mid-November. 14 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. This is much higher than the average daily deaths. Till Wednesday, the average was 5 and a week ago it was just 3. 8 of the deaths were in Kerala, which has been seeing 1 to 2 deaths on average or even less in recent weeks. India's cases are also the highest in almost 6 months. But experts say such surges are to be expected and point out healthcare systems are prepared, like in this Delhi hospital.
Being a cyclical viral disease, such surges are expected every few months as immunity wanes and also when the precaution level drops, along with associated travel and increased social mingling.
There has been a marginal rise in hospitalizations.
We have seen the patients who are coming to the OPD with just simple RT-PCR reports. They are stable, their oxygen level is normal, and most of these patients don't require indoor care or hospitalization.
These states have contributed the maximum number of cases to India's COVID tally, with Maharashtra witnessing the sharpest single-day rise. The capital, meanwhile, recorded a steep rise in the weekly positivity rate, nearly 13% for the first time in almost 8 months. Amid fears of a new COVID wave, the Delhi government issued an advisory for people with flu symptoms in an emergency review meet today.
देखिए, कल जो कोविड के मामले आए थे उसमें मुख्यमंत्री जी ने आज आदेश दिया था कि एक इमरजेंसी मीटिंग बुलाई जाए। तो हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट ने अपनी समीक्षा की है। सारी की सारी जो रिपोर्ट हैं वो कल सीएम साहब के सामने रखी जाएंगी। मगर अगर आप अस्पताल जा रहे हैं तो आप मास्क का प्रयोग करें, और अगर आपको कोई कोमॉर्बिडिटी है, आपको कोई गंभीर बीमारी है, आपकी इम्यूनिटी कम है, तो आप मास्क लगाएं। ये हमारी एडवाइजरी है।
So far, there is no mask mandate that has been imposed. However, doctors continue to say that wearing an N95 mask will not only save you from COVID that is rising, but also influenza that is plaguing the nation, and also from toxic air that causes cancer and other respiratory illnesses. In New Delhi with camera person Xavier Thomas, Vedant for NDTV.
Let's go across now for a doctor's perspective to Dr. Naresh Trihan of Medanta. Dr. Trihan, should we be worried at this point, or is it all right to treat this as another flu?
So, Sonia, these are the following facts that we must pay attention to. It is true that in the last 4 to 5 days, there has been a steep rise nationwide, where we have now reached 3,000 cases plus in the last 24 hours, and Delhi itself has 300 cases. So this is in spite of the fact that not many people are getting tested, because there is flu going on, there is H1N1 going on. So people get sick for 2-3 days, they get fever, sore throat, some get chills and rigors, and then they get better after 3-4 days. So the one fact is that it's usually a mild infection that people are getting. Two, the ones who got tested, the percentage is very high. So you know it's in the community. And you know also that in spite of the fact that the illness is not that severe, but people who have comorbidities, we know that they are getting prolonged, not 3-4 days, but 6, 7, 8, 10 days even of the continuous stress. But so the main thing is that you don't want to invite it. It may be mild, but the after effects of COVID infection is still prolonged. So you do get fatigue, your muscle pain still persists. Many people are reporting tachycardia.
And also the health minister announcing that, Dr. Trihan, this of course is your speciality, making the point that there's now a group set up to look at the cardiac, sudden cardiac arrest after COVID. So in that sense, unlike a normal flu, there is a worry over the heart and lung impact after COVID. Is that with this variant as well?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Don't invite it. And the way to avoid it is avoid going to crowded places for the next couple of weeks till it starts coming down, because this is the trend it will follow. The second thing is that if you have comorbidities, wear an N95 mask, but especially if you have a cold or cough, protect your family by wearing masking and isolating yourself distance-wise. So I think that the basic COVID appropriate behavior that we talked about earlier should be implemented more and more. And if you're going to, say, you're flying or you're going to a movie hall, then you should mask, because crowded places may have somebody who's spreading, because this infection spreads very fast.
Right.
So the RO factor is very high for Omicron. And we really don't know if the mutation has taken place. And I believe that we have been warning people, do not be careless. Be careful today. It's not to be taken lightly, because if we find out after the fact, as the numbers are going up, 300 in Delhi today reported.
Absolutely. And I think that point is that there's no need to panic, but there's definitely need to exercise the utmost caution. Thanks so much, Dr. Trihan, for joining me tonight on the news. And a day after election dates were announced, the campaign is in full-on slugfest mode in Karnataka, with now 2 ex-chief ministers sparring. B.S. Yediyurappa, in his press conference today, gave an open dare to ex-Congress Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, saying that his son may stand opposite Siddaramaiah.
BJP leader B.S. Yediyurappa says his son Vijayendra is ready to take on Congress veteran Siddaramaiah in Varuna constituency if the BJP central leadership agrees.
ಚರ್ಚೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅವರು ನಿಲ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂಥ ನೆಲನೇ ಕುಸಿತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅಷ್ಟು ಅವ್ರ ಗೆಲುವು ಸಹ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನನಗೇನು ಅನಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸರಿಯಾದ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಟಫ್ ಫೈಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನೋಡೋಣ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ.
Opposition Congress leader Siddaramaiah has chosen to contest from Varuna in Mysuru, where his son Yatindra is the sitting MLA. Varuna became a constituency in 2008 and Siddaramaiah has won twice from here till 2018 when he was Chief Minister.
We do not have any truck with any political party. We will come back to power on our own.
BJP Lingayat strongman Yediyurappa, who has been facing hostility with stone pelting outside his house after the government took away 4% quota for Muslims and added 2% quota each to Lingayats and Vokaligas, justified the move. The BJP asserts that the Congress will not cross 70 in the 224-seat assembly. But the Congress and JDS are both upbeat about taking on the BJP.
Kannadigas will going to reject both the national parties.
6 weeks to Karnataka elections and its political slugfest already. While the BJP says Modi's wave will have a clean sweep in the state elections, it is also fearing that the JDS and the Congress have struck a secret deal to oust the Saffron party, which is in power in the only southern state in Karnataka. In Bengaluru with Kumar Shrija for NDTV.
In tragic news today, 12 people have died after more than 30 people fell into a stepwell at an Indore temple this morning during Ram Navami celebrations. The roof of the stepwell, which is where the temple was, collapsed because of the heavy footfall of people. At least 12 people have died. The Prime Minister, the Chief Minister have tweeted condolences and announced compensation for this tragedy. In other news, well, over 1,000 tech leaders and academics have signed an open letter asking companies like OpenAI, Google and Microsoft to stop creating more and more powerful AI systems. They've said it's now become an out-of-control race. Parmeshwar has the details.
Some of the biggest names in AI are raising the alarm about their own creations. Now, I know there's an understandable impulse here to eye roll because after all, the signatories include some of the very people who are pushing out the generative AI models that they are now issuing warnings about. In an open letter published on Tuesday, more than 1,100 signatories call for a moratorium on state-of-the-art AI development. Signatories include Elon Musk, who helped co-found GPT-4 maker OpenAI before breaking with the company in 2018, along with Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, as well as the Skype co-founder. The letter says, "We call on all AI labs to immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems more powerful than ChatGPT-4, including the currently being trained GPT-5. It was released by the Future of Life Institute, which is a non-profit that works to reduce catastrophic risks." This letter adds, "This pause should be public and verifiable and include all key factors, and if such a pause cannot be enacted quickly, government should step in and institute a moratorium." More to the point, the signatories include foundational figures in artificial intelligence, including Yoshua Bengio, who pioneered the AI approach known as deep learning. The open letter actually echoes this point. We need a moratorium on powerful AI is what the open letter says. So we have a chance to ask ourselves, should we let machines flood our information channels with propaganda and untruth? Should we automate away all the jobs, including the fulfilling ones? Should we develop non-human minds that might eventually outnumber, outsmart, obsolete and replace us? Should we risk loss of control of our civilization? In other words, we don't have to build robots that will steal our jobs. But what about the other assumption that we shouldn't slow down AI because it can bring the world so many benefits? The key point here is that we've got to strike a wise balance between potential benefits and potential risks. It doesn't make sense to barrel ahead with developing ever more powerful AI without at least some measure of confidence that the risks will be manageable. And those risks aren't just about whether advanced AI could one day pose an existential threat to humanity, but about whether they'll change the world in ways many of us would actually reject.
And before we end tonight, the Prime Minister's surprise visit to the new Parliament complex. The final touches are being put here. The Prime Minister spent an hour at the complex. He met with engineers and labourers also working at the site. He got the full tour. It's likely to be opened for the monsoon session of Parliament this year, the new Parliament building. is likely to be up, as we said, by the monsoon session, and it's now almost at its final stages. As we can see those first glimpses, the Prime Minister also there meeting with people who've worked on constructing this whole complex.